Assalamu alaikum. Hi, Oracle Reiki spiritual healer. And it's like I said, there are so many people who I used to know back home, and they have begun reaching out to me. But it's a couple of things that I noticed. I noticed that there's people that's in the background that they're listening in and motioning to. These people, maybe they want to say something to me, or maybe they want me to say something to them or about them. But in any case, I don't think that I'm interested, or I'm not interested in talking to those people about the things they're interested in. The drama. The ability to create problems when there are no problems. So I'm not interested in those types of problems that they're willing to bring to me and engage me. These fake friends, these fake people who had been in my life, they had been invested in my life to control and to to take what God had given me, the blessings that God has given me. I cannot, with these people, as I think about these people, whether they're in the background or not, I cannot think, whether they were in a position or tried to put themselves in a position to give back. There are a lot of people whom, like I said, that were takers in my life. So, I'm one of those persons that if I have something to say, it doesn't matter if someone is sitting in the background listening or not. I meant what I said. This person is a user, friends and family. So I'm able to discern these types of people in my life, friends, family, people in the community, these people that I have been doing business with. So now that I have cleansed those persons out of my life, now that I have cleansed any business dealings, and I've shut the door on these people, all I have is I wish you the best. I wish you the best. There are absolutely people in your life that will play these types of games with you. They will try to use other people that you have mutual friendships with, that you're cool with, to reach out to you because they're not cool with you. And they know that they're not cool with you, just to see what you have to say about them. So, I stand on business, and like I say, I stand on business. Whatever I say to a person, then I will say it, in the person's face, because that's what I mean. I'm not a gossiper. This is what happened to our relationship. I do not mess with these people. I don't mess with that person, because if they will do this to our friendship, if they will, abuse our friendship, if they will abuse, children, elderly people, people who are vulnerable to them, then I don't have a need to reach out to this person. I don't have a need to, talk to this person. I don't have a need to care if the person is in the background listening, because the truth doesn't change. So you will have to deal with these types of issues in your life. And so, when I started to cleanse these types of negative people out of my life, I started to use, a progressive method in order to cleanse these people, and even the mutual people that we were friends with, from husbands, from family members, from friends of the family, people that were, next to me, close to me, in my own family. I started to cleanse these people out of my life, using different kinds of elements, using different kinds of progressive methods. And for this, you will have to use a progressive method. You cannot use the 4 thieves vinegar, although you can, sever those energy cords with that 4 thieves vinegar. But you're gonna have to use a progressive method. So what I like to use is the citrine stone. The citrine stone is going to, expose those people who are trying to siphon your financial energy, your abundance, your prosperity, for themselves. And it's going to cut that cord, with those people. Just to use the 4 thieves vinegar is not enough. It's not enough. So I had to use the citrine stone. And what stopped these people from attacking me, what lets me know that, they were fake, that they were only there for the money, because when I used the citrine stone and I used, the black salt, and protected myself, my space where I was, where I knew they would come. I protected myself with the black salt and this citrine. I use other methods that I cannot give you on here. You can reach out to me in the description below to get a full cleansing method. But a citrine stone is one of the greatest ways that you can remove this negative energy. Especially if you are having this problem in your community. If you're having this problem on the job, then, I recommend using the citrine stone cleanse, with the 4 thieves vinegar. I've had to cleanse many people out of my life and cleanse myself from many different jobs to sever that negative energy. And these are, again, ways that, I have to make sure that you understand that when you start to do these types of cleanses, yes, when you start cleansing your life, you're going to have hardship. When you see the entity, it sees you and it's going to attack. It wants to put you back to sleep. It wants you for itself. It wants to control you. It wants your abundance. It wants you to be fake with it. It wants you to give in and go back to sleep and be the person that you used to be. So when God has told you no, when God has exposed these persons in your life, when God has given you the different kinds of elements in the holy books, different kinds of stones that you can use, for your self-confidence, for your clarity, for your abundance, for your prosperity, and using those types of elements in order to remove that negative energy that was sent by people sent to monitor you, familiar spirits that want to come back in to siphon that energy, to bring you back to familiar places. And God has simply shut the door and said no to these people. No to going backwards in life. If they were not willing to go forward with you when, God put you in their life when you were at the same level as them, then certainly you can't go backwards with them. So, when we have reinvested in ourselves, when we have reinvented ourselves for the 100th time, that, God has prevailed in our life. I have given you, the 2 Kings that you can read about Prophet Elisha. And there are other prophets whom God has used, and they were so righteous in their walk, and telling people the truth and raising the dry bones, those dead bones, those decomposed bones, of the community, of the family, and raising those dry bones who don't think that they can, walk this walk on their own. To be able to leave behind those people and go into the valley and raise up those who are the chosen ones. Raise up those people who are the ones that are the soldiers of the earth, who are like-minded, who are ready to start their own business, who are ready to walk with the chosen ones. And we have to be able to discern these people in our lives that God has moved us away from. Those people that are trying to use other people in our lives to monitor us. We see you over there. But, that cord has been severed. It has been severed a long time ago. But we went on and burnt that bridge down. Because God said we can't go back across that bridge with you. So now that we are understanding that we can cleanse this negative energy of those people that are trying to siphon our prosperity, those people who are trying to siphon and control our finances, those people who are sending negative energy to the job sphere, those people on the job that don't want us there, that don't want us to be better than them in those spaces, we can cleanse that negative energy with the citrine stone, with a spiritual healing method, a spiritual healing cleanse. And once you have cleansed this negative energy and you have begun to move forward in your life, there are going to be people that start to try and monitor you and come back in your life. And you're going to have to be able to say, yeah, I'm doing fine. I'm doing this, and God is blessing me in this way. And we're not going to tell them anything, but we're going to let them know that God is blessing us. We're going to let them know that all those stumbling blocks that you planted for me, I was able to levitate over. Because God has given us the healing ritual, the cleansing ritual in the holy books, the Holy Quran, Surah Al-Araf, that tells you about these negative people, these evil people, the punishment and the wrath that is awaiting these people. So we have to read about it. We can use Surah Al-Araf in order to anoint ourselves with oil or take our bath with the water. And that's 793 through 95. In order to cleanse that negative energy and to bring in the good that God has for us. In order for us to cleanse the negative energy, in order for us to have clarity for what God has for us. In order for us to let go of old things, old persons, old relationships, in order for us to move forward in our lives with those who have been ordained by God for us. That hardship that we're going through right now, the loss of those jobs, the loss of the family members, the loss of, those rights in society that we thought we had. Then we have to create our own. We have to create with the people that God has sent to us, the chosen one, men and women that surround us in our community. And we have to make sure that once we have created these spaces for ourselves, these jobs, that we do not let these undesirables, these people, who have shut us out in society, we do not let them come back in to our gifts. We're not happy to help them. We're looking at them with the same disdain, for the genius gifts that we have. When we have created the plastiline or the filtration, the water filtration out of air, those systems, we have to say, no, it's a no for me. That, I don't want to rejoin with your society. I do not want to sell my gifts. I do not want to integrate with you. Let my people go. And that goes for in the home, that goes for in the community, and anywhere that you will have these people who will try to set up on you and siphon your energy vampires. Create trauma bonds in order for you to stay in, control of them, and so that they can control your gifts by not giving you benefits, by taking away jobs from, black people where black people dominate, those jobs that they do not want to be in competition with you, and insert people who are racist and undesirable into the business sphere. So I hope that you have received this message from me. Please like, share, and subscribe to me so I can acclimate some of these cleansing methods, some of the stones, some of these cleansing prosperity methods to your life. Please book your one-on-one sessions with me. so that you can get the benefits of these rituals in order to cleanse any kind of negative energy that may have been sent to you from society, employers, family members, or people who just do not like you, familiar spirits. So you can also book your life coaching sessions or your video chat sessions. Donate to me. I'm High Oracle Reiki Spiritual Healer. Assalamu alaikum.